Hey everybody, hey wellness crew, welcome to this practice, to this session, to this routine. I am so glad that you're here. Don't forget that there's a button right below that says thanks. I would greatly appreciate if you would hit that button because I want to upgrade, some of the yoga mats, get some stuff for Halloween content, and potentially rent out a studio. So every bit helps. Thank you so much. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Today's a little bit different. We're going to be using a yoga wheel. If you don't have one, I highly suggest investing in one. And we're also going to use yoga blocks. So that way my people that have to modify, well, I'll do some modification with you and hopefully show you some new stuff to help you get the most out of your blocks. So with the yoga wheel, what we're going to do is go ahead, get onto the yoga wheel. Be very careful. If you can, grab at each side. I'm landing on the candle. All right, so extending our legs, trying to get our elbows to the mat or floor. From there, we're going to go ahead and walk our feet in. Try to bring our knees to the mat if you can. There we go. And slowly releasing. Wow, that made a big difference. I wasn't even held for that long. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead. We're going to put our arms on the wheel. We're going to bring our knees, our hips back so they can be over each other. Having our arms straight. Opening up in our shoulders. We're going to go ahead and bring the yoga wheel a little bit closer to us. Get our elbows on. And try to, if you can, try to get your head through, but it's a pretty tight space. Yeah. All right, let's do one at a time. So having our right palm, or our left palm on the mat, stretching out that right arm. And going ahead, we're gonna switch arms. If you need to adjust your body, please do. From there, we're going to go ahead and come onto our side. Very similar to a side plank. But we're going to have our left hand in front. We're going to be putting some pressure on our side, using the yoga wheel. And then kind of letting your body fall into it. If you want, you can always bring your arm overhead to kind of force your body onto it, You don't have anything grounding you really except for the right arm. And your left foot is in front of your right. And if you try to relax your neck, you can also get a stretch on the left side of your neck. Bringing that arm back to the mat, getting off the yoga wheel so we can switch sides and do it on the other side. So basically that side plank position. Now the right foot is in front of the left. There we go. Bringing our right fingertips or your palm to the mat, or extending your arm up straight overhead. Relaxing that neck to get a stretch on the right side. And going ahead, bringing that right hand to the mat and carefully getting off of the yoga wheel. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is have the yoga wheel in between, like right above our ankles. We're going to go ahead and have our palms or our fingertips grounding us. I suggest having them forward because what we're going to do is squeeze together, lift up, and come back down. It's a very small movement. Moving the yoga wheel, bringing the soles of our feet together, and falling forward. Don't forget to breathe nice and deep. And slowly rolling back up. Grabbing the yoga wheel. Squeezing it above our ankles and lifting up. All right, from there, bringing the soles of our feet together and falling forward. And slowly rolling up, grabbing our yoga wheel above the ankles, squeezing and lifting. Moving the yoga wheel to the side, soles of our feet, and falling forward. And slowly rolling up. Okay. So that was yoga wheel time. That's what we'll call it, yoga wheel time. Okay, so we're now going to go ahead and get into plank. Get into downward dog. Lift up our left leg. Bring the knee in towards the elbow. Place the left foot on the mat. Come into a kneeling lunge. Placing our hands back down on the mat. Tucking our toes underneath to come into downward facing dog. Lifting our right leg up. Bringing that right knee to the right elbow. Stepping that right foot forward. And coming into kneeling lunge. Yeah, when I displace the mats, I'm like, oh, I am very flexible. No, I'm just kidding. And if you feel as though you're not getting a deep enough stretch, heel toe that front foot forward a little bit. Because like now I feel it all right here. And going ahead, bringing our palms of our hands to the mat. Going ahead, tucking our toes underneath to get into downward dog. Coming into plank. Our knees are going to kiss the mat. Come back into downward dog. Plank. Knees are going to kiss the mat. Back down, back into downward dog. Plank. Knees going to kiss the mat. Back into downward dog. Lift up that left leg. Bring the left knee to the left elbow. And place that left foot down. Bringing the right knee down, coming into a kneeling lunge. And if you want, you can also have a bit of a back bend for a deeper stretch. Going ahead, bringing our hands back down to the mat, tucking our toes underneath, coming into downward facing dog. Lifting our right leg straight up. Bending that knee, bringing the right knee to the right elbow. Stepping that right foot down to come into a kneeling lunge. And bringing our hands back down to the mat, coming into plank, coming into downward facing dog, coming into plank, our knees kiss the mat, back into downward dog, plank, knees kiss the mat, back into downward dog, plank, knees kiss the mat, downward dog. Really slidey today. Got 2 more. One more. And from here, we're going to go ahead, lift our left leg up, bending that left knee, bringing it to the left elbow, stepping that left foot forward, bringing that right knee down, coming into a kneeling lunge. And coming to bringing our palms onto the mat, bringing that left foot back, tucking our toes underneath, and coming into downward facing dog. Lifting that right leg, bending that right knee, bringing it to the right elbow, stepping that right foot forward, bringing the left knee down, and coming into kneeling lunge. And bringing our hands back down to the mat. Coming on to our hands and our knees for tabletop to get into cat-cow. Raising our heads, raising our bottoms as we inhale. And as we exhale, bringing the crown of our head to the mat and arching our back. Just go with your breath on this one. Two more. All right, awesome. From there, we're going to go ahead and do a balance position. So from tabletop, we're going to extend our right arm and our left leg. And releasing and lifting the left arm and the right leg. And bringing it back to tabletop, extending that right arm, that left leg, trying to keep our spine as neutral as we can. That includes our neck. And coming back into tabletop and lifting that left arm and that right leg. See, even I have a problem. I always want to look up. And bringing it back to tabletop, extending that right arm, that left leg. I still want to do it. And bringing it back to tabletop and extending our right leg and our left arm. All right, awesome. So from here, we're going to come into a kneeling position. We're going to go ahead, bring our fists to the to our lower back, to the small of our back actually. And we're going to go ahead and just do a backwards lean. And very slowly and very carefully coming back up. We're going to go ahead and do a new move. It's called the pike. So you're going to start, it's very similar to kind of like a forward fold, but your hands are a little bit further in front. You're going to come up, oops, try to get your feet up off the mat. Walk your hands forward. Coming into standing. If you need to, if you have enough space, then just keep going. We're trying to get the weight onto our hands. And let's see. That's too far. And you'll feel this working your core. Very good. So we're going to go ahead and get into using our yoga blocks. So we're going to start in a half split. And in that half split, what you're going to do is flex your foot and point. Flex your foot and point. Flex your foot and point. Flex your foot, point. Flex your foot and point. We're going to go ahead, switch legs. Let's move it to the left this time. All right, coming into that left side, half split. Again, flex, point, flex, point, flex, point, flex, point, flex, point, flex, and point. All right, switching legs again. This time what I want you to do is try to elongate the back of your leg a little bit. So you're closer to like being in a split. Flex, point, flex, point, flex, point, flex, and point. All right, switching sides. So our left leg is on here. We have our right leg more extended than our typical half split. Flex and point. Flex and point. Flex and point. Flex and point. All right, perfect. We're going to remove a yoga block. I had two stacked on top. I didn't feel the need to explain that because I was like, they can see. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go ahead, extend that right leg in front, extend that left leg in back. You might want to move the yoga block a little bit higher. There's not going to be as much space for the flexing and pointing. Flex, point, flex, point, flex, point, flex, and point. Okay, so switching sides. All right, extending our legs into a split position. It doesn't matter how low you can go right now. No worries, guys. This is more like showing you things you can do to improve your split if that's something that you're working on. And if not, you're getting a great stretch in your hamstrings and your calves, so it's a good thing to do. Flex, point, flex, point, flex, point, flex, point, flex, point. All right, going ahead, moving that leg. We are going to get into a straddle position. With our ankles basically on the yoga blocks, we are going to fall forward. Nice deep breaths. You're doing awesome. Slowly rolling up. From here, I want you to take your right hand in front of you, your left hand behind you, lift up, and switch. Widen your legs. And try to use only your arms for strength. All right, awesome. Let's go ahead, stack our blocks. We're going to go ahead, get our elbows on the blocks. Bring our hips over our knees if possible. Really feel that stretch on our sides and our shoulders. All right, awesome. Now we're going to go ahead. We're not putting the yoga blocks aside just for this move. Okay, so we're going to come onto our stomachs. We're going to bring our right and our left arm like this. Your left arm is on top, and you can rest your chin on it for a nice shoulder stretch. And switching arms, so having our right arm on top this time. Right? Yeah. Okay, resting our chin on our right arm. All right, releasing our arms. We're going to go ahead and this will take me a second to show you because I always have to adjust the head part. But basically, you're going to make your yoga block tall, okay? So you're going to have to kind of play with it a little bit. You're going to cross your legs. Oh, it slipped. Oh, the problems with long hair, guys, I'm telling you. Okay. And we're pretty much getting stretched out in a lot of different places in our mid back and our lower body. All right, from there, let's go ahead and bring our feet onto the mat, lift up our backs, get that yoga block out, and the other one. So we're going to come into Shavasana, but what we're going to do is we're going to bring the soles of our feet together. So we have our legs wide open, we have our palms facing the sky. And we're just allowing our body to recover from what we did today. Being proud of yourself for completing it. Nice deep breath. In through your nose. And out through your mouth. allowing yourself to experience gratitude for this practice, for yourself, for anybody in your supportive unit. And extending an arm out, closing our legs. Come on, close your legs. And going ahead, rolling onto our right side or left side. Coming into a sitting or a kneeling position. I am so glad that you joined me today. I know it's a little bit different and it requires equipment, but it's something to definitely consider to have in your arsenal. So that way you can get more flexible a little bit faster. And I'll probably start having some videos that I dedicate to progressions, because there's progressions that I myself am working on. So it'll show you like from someone's perspective, like, yes, I started instructing yoga when I was 19 years old. I'm 35 now, but it wasn't like all the way through, but I've, still maintained a practice for the most part all these years. But that doesn't always mean that you're going to be super flexible. That doesn't always mean you're going to have, this and that, especially when you have an autoimmune condition. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and or join. It is popping off in the memberships. We're having a lot of fun, and I will see you on the next video. Be well, stay wild.